Well, hello and welcome to CG Rated Books. It's Tag Tuesday once again, and we do have a tag for you this week. It is the Audiobook Tag, and it's an original tag from the Book Buds. I was tagged by Joe and Mary, and here we go. It's a real quick prompt, and it's going to be fairly easy for me because of the simple fact that well, let's just start. You'll see. You'll see. Uh, Prompt number one. Do you listen to audiobooks? No, I don't. If not, why not? Basically, I don't sit still long enough to listen to an audiobook, for one. And the real main reason is because I've listened to an audiobook once before, and the voice actors, the reader, the narrator, wasn't a really good fit. I don't like audiobooks because of the high chance that the narrator might change my imaginative vision with hearing voices and hearing a specific portrayal handed to you. It actually gives you a perspective. It gives you, when you hear a certain sound and you are giving a certain vision because of that sound, then it might differ than if you are reading it and your own imagination and your own experience leads you to the environment being described in the narrative. So that's one reason. Another reason why I don't really spend a whole lot of money purchasing audios. Now, there's a couple of audios that I've gotten for free that I've listened to. I do have an audiobooks account, and I do on occasion listen to it, but it is not my preferred method of reading. Prompt number two. Has your use of audiobooks changed over time? And if so, how? Actually, it hasn't really. It's really systematic. It's formulated. It's the reason why I don't listen or use audiobooks as much is because there are specific things that affect my reading experience. Do I never want to use audiobooks? No, there are times like when I'm traveling and need to multitask or driving and I'm not in the mood for listening to music, which is not very often. Then I'll, what I like about Kindle and audiobooks is the fact that you can take so many more books with you on the go. So there is that. Prompt number three. How do you choose which book will be read versus listened to? Oof. Honestly, I don't. There is, when I'm going through the audiobooks list and I see, if I find a book and it draws my attention, then more than likely I'll listen to it. Prompt number four. Do you look into narrators before you listen, or do you go in blind? I go in blind. I don't really take the time to research who the narrators are. I don't have very in-depth knowledge about narrators and readers. I do know that there's a few places out there where you can become one. I don't know if I have got the voice to become a narrator, or the linguistics, as in the reading pattern and the, I guess the voice actor connotations or whatever. But yeah, I'm not really big into following the individual narrating it, especially if they're not very good. Because I'm not reading it for the narrator, I'm reading it for the story, the author. the author's rendition of the story. So, yeah. Prompt number 5. Do you multitask while audiobooking? If so, what else do you do? Now, yes. Yes. Okay, so yeah, I do audiobook and multitask when I do audiobook. I clean, I drive. It's mostly travel, honestly. If I'm not traveling in my car, I don't usually stream my music through my phone. I actually have an iPod Touch, and I don't like to not have it in the car. So when I'm driving, I've got my on my iPod, and I listen to the songs on that constantly. But if I fly, if I'm what do you call it when you're going with a buddy? If I'm road tripping with friends, then yes, I may be inclined to listen to an audiobook at that time. But cleaning the house, if I've got an audiobook in my list at the time, I may go ahead and do that. I've actually, because now Netflix is doing that now as well too. So is it Netflix or Prime? One of the two actually has a couple of movies out there that are actually audio, and you can play them while you clean or cook. So clean, travel, and cook. That's multitasking. That's what I do. And prompt number 6. Prompt number 6 is if you are reading a series and you listen to the first book, would you ever switch to reading a later book, or do they now all need to be listened to? Okay, so this is depends on, really. It's a depends on, because it depends. If the narrators are the same for each book, I would rather keep them all in the same format. If I audio one, I'm going to audio the whole series. If the narrators are the same. If the narrators are the same but they're bad, then I'm going to, if I audio it and I'm listening to it and I can feel a conflict in my imagination and the listening experience, then I will revert to going back to reading the entire series. So I'm very particular. It's like watching a movie. If they've got the right actors for the movie, a really bad movie can still be very entertaining. But a really good movie with bad actors, you've lost me. It's the same with a bad narrator. They have them. They're out there. And anybody who does an audiobook long enough, right, you'll come across them, right? So prompt number 7. What percent of books you're consuming currently are audiobooks? To be honest with you, 0.1%, because I think I listened to an audiobook maybe once last year or the year before. I think I have a total, like about 4 books total that I've listened to in the past 4 or 5 years. So 0.1%. And oh wow, so that's it. We've got one bonus question. Do you have a favorite narrator or a favorite book that you enjoyed in the audiobook format? And that is no, actually, because like I said, it's not, I don't do it often enough to come across the same narrator, for one. And number 2, none of the narrators that I've actually experienced have been that great. They've been good. I've got two of the 4 books that I listened to were self-help books, right? Yeah, Get a Grip and Traction. Yeah. So they were instruction books on explaining an entrepreneurial operating system for your company, for startup companies. So yeah, no, it was kind of hard to mess it up because it was I think was it the author that I don't even remember. I don't think so. It wasn't the author that did it. But it wasn't a book for entertainment. It was just a lesson book, right? Study book, right? Conference book. And that's it. That is it. I want to thank Joe and Mary. I hope this wasn't too boring because I don't really, like I said, I don't venture out into the audiobook format that often. But I am particular about, the reading experience. And so if the narrator isn't any good, then I'm going to struggle with that book. And yes. So the last prompt is to tag somebody, of course, and I think this time I will. This is an original tag, so I didn't see a whole lot of people who have been tagged. Well, Joe and Mary tagged a lot of people. I'm going to put their video, a link to the video, in the description. But I am going to identify by page, already overbooked, adventures in literature, random reading pathways, and books off the beaten path. You guys are tagged. Tag. You'll find all the prompts in the description. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll see you again the next time we come through. Keep reading.